Happy Arbor Day, scumbags. Is that still a real thing? Is Arbor? I don't know. Who cares? Welcome to Vote of No Confidence. I'm Andrew Fantasia.
Rob McDonald.
And here we are. We're going to vote with no confidence on something. And then you, in turn, the audience, you're going to vote with confidence against or for either one of us. It sounds boring when I put it that way, but it's not boring. It's fun. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing this.
Yeah. Have fun.
What are we voting about today, Mr. Rob?
Well, we're talking about a certain character from The Force Awakens and redemption specifically for one Kylo Ren. The man that killed Harrison Ford. No, he didn't really kill Harrison Ford. He just killed Han Solo.
Okay, you scared me for a minute.
The pontoon planes might kill Harrison Ford at some point. Hopefully not, though. But regardless, yeah, that's what we're talking about. Kylo Ren. Will he be redeemed? And what do you think over there, Andrew? What's your side?
All I know is my gut says no.
Yeah, well, my gut says yes. And by my gut, I mean James's coin that he flipped.
That is right.
So, would you like to start off?
Okay, yeah, let's start off here. Let me take a quick peek at my notes here. Here's the thing about Kylo Ren and redemption is that I think it's old, baby. It's old. We had 6 straight movies of a redemption story. We had 6 movies about Anakin Skywalker turning into Darth Vader and being redeemed by the end of it all to give us another great, iconic, helmeted, black-clad villain, only to repeat the process over and over again. I know Star Wars is all about rhyming and repetition and so on and so forth, which is cool. But if you're going to tell us the same shtick and be like, here's this guy, ooh, he's a naughty, look at all the naughty things he does, but he's got some good in him, and here it is. And then he's just...
That gesture.
Yeah. My Lunette the Clown gesture.
Yes. Terrifying.
So for that to happen again, I don't know. I feel like it's too similar because already look at all the similarities we have. Anakin was, a strong force-sensitive youth with a luscious mane of long hair who was deceived by a puppet master to turn against his friends and family for the puppet master's own evil game. And then he got redeemed at the 11th hour. And I really hope Kylo doesn't fall exactly down that same road. Because if he does, then what have we learned now that we didn't already learn before?
Well, I mean, for me, actually, with Kylo Ren and Ben, the thing is that they've already told, and, again, you mentioned it, Star Wars is about doing some repetitious things and whatnot, but also bringing out something new. We have Kylo Ren who, right away, from the beginning, is shown that the light side is affecting him, right? It's pulling him to another direction. He felt the need to kill Han to be able to try to embrace the dark side within him and push away the light. So right away, unlike Vader, he's already not like that. Vader, first of all, we saw him in A New Hope, he's choking out a damn rebel right over his head. And with Kylo specifically, the thing is, he is we don't know. We're probably going to see these flashbacks in Last Jedi, maybe, but we're going to get an idea that maybe he wasn't all evil and that there's a reason why Leia and Han right away thought that, he's redeemable completely. We can pull him back. It's Snoke that's doing this to him. So as to Kylo being redeemed specifically, I think it's very possible, and I could completely see it because, again, like you said, Star Wars is about repetition. Yeah, they could do something a little bit different. I think that they will do something a little bit different, whether it's him sacrificing his own life before to get some information to them or something like that. I'm not saying that he's literally going to grab Snoke, lift him up over his head, and throw him off a pier.
Imagine.
that might be a little bit more ridiculous, but I just think that he has more of the ability to see why he would be redeemed because he's feeling the pull. That's what it is. He's feeling the pull from the light side.
Well, see, here's the thing about the light side and Kylo that I think is more indicative of the fact that he's not going to come back from this dark path he's going down. Mm-hmm. And it's you have to think about this. Think about Kylo's upbringing. Think about when he was still just Ben and he's just a random kid and then a random teenager. He spent all of his early life, all of his childhood, and probably all of his teenage years around Leia and Luke. and Han, obviously. But
Yeah, I hope so.
I bring up Leia and Luke because Leia and Luke, ever since Ben was little and first discovered, hey, look, I have force powers, guys. Look what I can do. Leia and Luke would have been the first ones to step in, be like, look, Ben, we have to tell you something about your grandfather. He was strong in the Force too, and then he made some very bad choices. Ben grew up learning, like having it ingrained into his head that, look, what Vader did was an atrocity. It was awful. Please never make that same mistake. So for Ben to then become Kylo Ren, and not only, remember, he's not worshiping at the altar of Anakin, he's worshiping at the altar of Vader. He's got Vader's helmet. He's not, there is probably a dozen different family heirlooms that he might have from Luke that could have tied back to Anakin, but no, he has the helmet because it's Vader, not Anakin, who he is worshiping. So if this kid grew up being told over and over again, look, Anakin was a good man, Vader, when he became Vader, he was not a good man. We don't want you to make those same mistakes, Ben, because we love you and we don't want you to turn to the dark side. So if he is then spending his now adult life as Kylo Ren worshiping this Vader thing, unlike Anakin, who didn't really, remember, Anakin turned because, like, he didn't hate the light when he turned. He turned because he was angry, because he was scared, and because he was vulnerable and easily manipulated. You know, he was so easy to coerce that Palpatine was just like, sup, you like immortality? I got some. Whereas, like, there was never a point where Anakin was like, I hate the light side of the Force. It's never brought me anything but misery. That never happened. Whereas Kylo is making a conscious effort to extinguish the light in his body. He's praying, again, not to Anakin. He's praying to the spirit of Vader, help me drive out the light that's in my body. I'm being torn apart. Help me step out of the light and into the darkness. This is a man who wants to be evil. And you're right, it's going against his nature because he grew up in a good environment. But unlike Anakin, who was confused and had his mind like brainwashed, Kylo is pretty much saying, like, at this point, we don't even really know if Kylo is on the same page as Snoke in terms of what they want. Kylo might just have his own agenda, but all we know for certain is that Kylo, when he's in his intimate moments, when it's just him and that helmet, he's saying to that helmet, I don't want to be a good person. I know I came from a family that has molded me to be a good person, but I don't want to be that anymore. Help me not be that anymore.
Well, just talking about that to start off with, I mean, I don't know about you, but I felt a degree of insanity when he was talking to that. So, like, It's not just him like, I want to be evil and simply as that. It's just, you know, he's talking to a helmet with possibly a charred head of Anakin Skywalker in there. And also the thing that, you know, you brought up a very good like picture as to like what his early life may have been. Mm-hmm. But also there's a part of that early life that we, for all we know, was missing from that point, is that when did Snoke come in? When did Snoke come into this picture for Kylo? Was he manipulating him early, or did he just manipulate him later? Right? To think that he got that insanity makes me think that he was already giving him doubts in some type of way early on. Like, I don't know when it would have been, but regardless, Snoke to me, like, it's right in that quote that Leia says to Han, it's Snoke that did this to him. It's Snoke. So it's like, I don't think it's simply that, you know, the Emperor got Anakin to come over there because of greed and wanting to keep Anakin alive, Padme alive, or keep her from dying. With him, it was literally just, it seemed to be that I don't know what he did to him, but he clearly did something to him, because Leia and Han are so positive that all of this is Snoke's fault. Mm-hmm. That Snoke is the one that's manipulated this boy that was once their son into going to this dark side and going to these places. You know, for all we know, that, you know, there's plenty of reasons for us to think that he's people have said it. He's very emo, and he seems very like trying to block stuff out, like trying to go this one way and to go straight to the dark side and eliminate the light side, eliminate his family, just go to this goal, whatever it may be, for Kylo. And the fact that he's doing that and just being so childish about it makes me think that he was manipulating him early on, for him to be just putting such doubt into his head is such like a very like teenage like perspective at all, because so many of us were like, hey, we're in high school, we have no idea what we want to be, we have no idea what we want to do, and it's people that manipulate us to go one way or the other.
I wanted to be a Power Ranger in high school.
Power Ranger, yeah, I would have loved to have just been in that T-Rex dinosaur. That'd been amazing. But anyway, yeah, I feel like that's what it was, and it was Kylo's manipulate on them, because the thing that we know is that this is what he's trying to do, like to eliminate the light side of him, but he's feeling the pull. The pull to the light side is natural to him. That's what it feels like to me in that movie. That's what's like really calling to him in his heart, it seems to be. And he's trying to shut out his heart, and I don't know why, but he wants to become the dark side. So this is just, it's like his conscience is telling him to go to the light side. So that's why I think it's very clear that he may very well be redeemed or / go back to the light side in some way before the end for the character.
Okay, well, let me close with this. I like what you said about how the light is pulling him because the light is natural. The light is, everybody came, into the world as an innocent person, and then that the natural goodness of a person is still inherent. It's just, it either fades away with time or it grows stronger depending on who you are. Like in Vader's case, it faded away. Mm-hmm. In Kylo's case, it's fading away. One of the big reasons I believe why he's not going to be redeemed stems from that, and it's because yes, the goodness that is in him is natural. It was part of him as a child, and he grew up and maintained some of that, and slowly but surely it's fading away and into the shadow. Now, I'm trying to figure out the best way to word this. This is a philosophical debate for another time.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, we're getting a little.
I don't believe that humans are inherently born good or evil. I believe they're born as a blank slate. They learn values, and then they decide which of those values that they value more. Right. So the reason why I believe Kylo's darkness is something that is going to be around for a very long time is because I'm picturing, in my head as he's growing, and from your argument, I'm picturing that as well. He had this upbringing. Maybe he was manipulated by Snoke at an early age. Maybe he was fighting it at first and then thought, hey, no, wait, this is a good idea. But at the end of the day, there is a point where he has to make a judgment call and say no or say yes. And I believe Vader, he made a call like early on at that point where he leaves and he goes and he's like, Mace, don't kill the Emperor. I need him. He made that call for what he was the best intentions, but then everything after that, when he's Vader and his life is meaningless, you feel every time Vader speaks or is on screen, you feel like this man just hates his life. He hates everything. He's just an angry, bitter individual.
You're talking about Vader?
About Vader, yeah. He's just like, he's not a happy person at all. And I wouldn't blame him. He lost everything. He lost his wife. He thought he lost his child.
He seemed fairly happy when he was choking out his own guys in Empire Strikes Back.
Well, he did just come out of a nice bath. There's probably some morphine in that bath, though. Let's not. Everybody's happy.
And even when he's punning it in front of Krennic over there, he's enjoying those.
Exactly.
It's the bath that probably sets him off. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, continue.
Now Kylo, on the other hand, I'm not gonna, I can't say he's not an angry person either, because he clearly has issues. But whereas Vader was a person who was just like, he gave off the sense of that guy who's just like stuck in a dead end job, like the guys from Office Space, but he can't really do anything about it. So he's just like, oh, I'm gonna freaking kill everybody who looks at me the wrong way. Whereas Kylo seems like a much more proactive person, where he's taking the darkness that's in him and the lightness that's in his own hands, and he's not letting anything external get into that. Yes, Snoke has manipulated him, but he seems so independent in and of himself. You know, he addresses Snoke as a master and a mentor, but you can see it in his eyes. He wants it. Vader, you know, it was just like, yes, master, gritting his teeth, like he just, like, God, I wish I could friggin' pick you up over my head and throw you in a pit, but now's not the day. Whereas with Kylo, there's a sense, yes, I'm going to obey you, but again, that I keep thinking of that Sith rule of two. I'm going to obey you until I don't have to anymore. And then I'm going to be the one to hold the power instead of crave it. Because at the end of the day, there's a reason nobody in history, as far as I know, no Star Wars fan in history has ever sat down like we are and asked ourselves, so do you think Emperor Palpatine is going to be redeemed? Nobody has ever asked that question. Why? Because we can tell from what we've seen of Emperor Palpatine, he wants it.
On the movies especially.
And he likes it. And I get that there is a struggle in Kylo Ren because, Palpatine was born probably to a good family too. We don't know. But as much as there is a struggle in Kylo Ren, there is a sense of, I want this. Not because Snoke's telling me I want it. I want it. So if I have to close my argument anyway, I would say that Kylo leans more towards the kind of person like Palpatine who it's like, we don't even need to ask. He's not going to... He's embracing the dark side. He's not accepting it. You know, he's like, oh, come here. He's not just like, fine, like Vader. And that to me spells out that this is a very different kind of man than Anakin was. And his fall, however, I don't think he's going to survive this trilogy personally, but however he goes out, I think it's going to be in a very different way than how Anakin did.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's all about perspective. I mean, the thing that we have not seen with Kylo as of right now is we just have the one movie, so we haven't seen what he was like beforehand, right? So I'm actually comparing this Kylo that we saw in this movie compared to like Darth Vader from A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. Because to me, I didn't see like anything redeemable or him not wanting to do the stuff that he wants to do in A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. It was only in Return of the Jedi when he had that conversation with Luke after Luke gave himself up that it seemed like he actually showed some level of reluctance.
Right.
But in those first two movies, like he was full on just. Like he didn't even hesitate when he took out Obi-Wan. He was just like, "Oh, you put your guard down, boom, you're done." This old friend that he's known for such a long time, he just cut him down. Meanwhile, Kylo Ren in at the end of Force Awakens when he kills Han Solo, it's not like he just stabbed him and that was it, right? Like he was there. There was a lot of conflict within him. I mean, I could see it at least in terms of the performance. He was there, like he was literally like. Felt like he to a lot of people he could have thought like he's not going to kill him, right? Like he was so like that, and it was only when that light came out and you knew that the Star Killer base took out the star and it's ready to fire. That's when it kind of settled in. And you were like, oh my god, okay, this is what he's going to do. But like there was so much conflict within him, so he was like I could literally see the light trying to pull him back to the light side, like the good trying to suck him back, and Han Solo was trying to do that. In A New Hope, that Vader did not hesitate. It was like they were fighting, and then it just like Obi-Wan just lifts up his hand and just like boom, that's it, without a second thought. This old friend that he's known for however many years, like 20 years, well, no, probably more than 20 years. Probably close around 30 or something like that. So yeah, just the fact that he did something like that with no conflict at all just makes me think that this Vader is not redeemable at this point. It's only when he sees his son and has to make that choice does he do it. But his friend did not affect this decision at all. So I see a very, very close a resemblance between both Kylo and Vader in these movies. And just the fact that he has this natural ability that just seems like there's something within him. There's some conscience that's pulling him away, and he has to be in there with that severed head slash charbroiled Darth Vader helmet that has to try to like be his altar to try to come back to the dark side. But when he's away from that, it seems like obviously this light side is pulling him in some type of way to do something, to be something else. And it's over there that he has to get his solace and say, hey, I want to be dark. But there's something, I think, that's going to really pull him the other way, whether it's Leia or whether it's whoever else. Mm-hmm. That's going to ultimately redeem this character. And, I mean, it's difficult to redeem, but I think he will be redeemed for killing Han Solo by doing some type of selfless act that will help the Republic in this war against the First Order.
Well, we'll have to see.
Yeah.
This war is shaping up to be quite a war. I'll tell you that. There's like family things happening in it, and like now that someone's got a spear, like this is going to be a war and a half.
Spear, absolutely.
So our illustrious friends at the Senate, tell us what you think. Vote now. Who do you agree with? Who do you disagree with? It's probably going to be the opposite of who you agreed with. But let us know in the comments, and you know where to find us. Until next time.
Yeah, right here on the Rebel Scum podcast channel, and you'll also find us in the comments too.
That's right. Yeah, we haunt the comments.
Yeah, we're watching what you're saying about us. So,
so say nice things.
Say nice things,
or mean things with an asterisk, because then at least we'll know the asterisk means you mean well at heart. Anyway, I'm Andrew Fantasia.
Rob McDonald.
See you next time.
Hey scumbags! Thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on our video. As always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rebel Scum Podcast, for all the latest videos.